So Jane has a strong understanding of the impacts of various treatments for metastatic disease, as she's previously been treated with immunotherapy, radiotherapy, surgery, and is currently on targeted therapy. So Jane's most recent scan showed no evidence of disease, which is fantastic. So give Jane a warm welcome, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Alison. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we are meeting today, which is the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to the elders, past and present, and to any Indigenous Australians that are here with us tonight. I'm sorry to tell you that melanoma has spread to your lungs. So I sat in a treatment room not far from here and totally blindsided by this news in 2017. It's not that I wasn't expecting that melanoma had come back at all, it just hadn't even occurred to me that it might spread that far, and it was now stage 4. I had come to this appointment alone from uni, and now I had no idea what to do. So, in shock, I walked downstairs, ordered a coffee, sat on the couch for 4 hours researching. Now, because I have access to journal databases with my uni login, I went nuts. I wanted statistics and I needed them now. I had to know what treatments were available, how bad were the side effects, and what are the 5-year survival rates. And by the way, I have finally stopped looking at these. I actually can't remember what I learned that day. In the 2 years since that appointment, I've clocked up hundreds of hours knee-deep in research about adverse effects of clinical trials, testing numerous drugs, combinations of drugs and what their outcomes are. I thrive on information. I need to know why, because I'm a questioner. However, all the research and information in the world couldn't tell me what was about to happen over the next 2 years of treatment. I've had 4 recurrences, 3 surgeries, 2 clinical trials, 4 visits to emergency, 3 hospital admissions, 2 separate rounds of radiation, 2 different immunotherapies, 3 different combinations of targeted therapies, countless fevers, other drug reactions, and some are still continuing now. Loads of blood tests and injections, multiple PET scans, MRIs, CT scans, 1 manipulative, narcissistic ex-boyfriend. He's gone. I have moved house 3 times, I've quit my job, I've quit uni twice, I've had many, many hours of psychotherapy and counselling, and a lot of coffee and a lot of Netflix. The difficult thing about being on active treatment for stage 4 melanoma is that you're constantly putting out fires. There isn't one standard treatment plan. It's likely to be quite different for every patient. Every treatment has its pros and cons, and unfortunately our oncologists can't always put our minds at ease because often the long-term data just isn't there yet. Sometimes choosing to be on a certain medication might mean that you're not eligible for a clinical trial down the track. Or choosing to access a drug listed on the PBS means that you might forfeit your chance to try a different one later. So these choices are never clear. Other times, the outcomes of decisions are really permanent, like deciding not to undergo fertility preservation before starting treatment. So at 35, without a partner or a job, I'm on anti-cancer medication. It's unlikely that I'll ever have children. After many months of operating on adrenaline and prednisolone, I was finally told that my scans were clear. It's amazing to know that the struggle had all been worth it. But once that brief happiness had subsided, the mental and emotional challenge really begun. Being cancer-free is one thing, but knowing that it's really likely to come back and to not know when is a type of torture that I couldn't see coming. I was really struggling to find the joy in things that used to make me happy. I preferred to stay home all the time instead of going out to meet with my friends. And when I tried to explain to others what I was really worried about, that it was going to come back, they would just tell me, don't worry, and just think positive. And for me, that's really impossible. With fear, my anxiety shows up in a number of different ways. Where I usually sleep quite well, I started sabotaging my sleep and staying up all night researching. I turned to food as it was something that I could control, and I've developed quite an unhealthy relationship with eating. I tried to find things to keep me occupied because being distracted is just better. I started an enormous cross-stitch that has kept me really busy for about a year, and it's still only 2/3 finished. I also have a slightly unhealthy addiction to shopping at Spotlight, and my fabric stash is starting to outgrow the space that I have at home. But I've put my sewing machine to good use, and I've started to sew for myself again. One of the biggest challenges for me has been losing control over my own life. When something is an inherent part of who you are, it's unbelievably difficult to accept that it has to change. Me, I'm a planner. I like to have an organised diary and to think ahead and make plans for the near future. Letting go of control is something that I've been working on with my psychologist for over a year, and I'm finally in a place that I'm usually able to plan just 1 week at a time. Lately, I've had this habit of going into this planning snowball that happens when you know that you've got so many things that you want to do, but you don't know what to do first. So, I need to go to the shops, so I need to pick up some milk, but I have to have a shower first, so what am I going to wear? Oh, okay, it looks like I need to do some washing, so I'll put the washing on first, then I'll have some breakfast. Oh, but I don't have any milk. Okay, then I'll go to the shops, but I also have to remember that I've got to post a letter, so I need to go find that envelope. Where did that go? And where did I put those stamps? Am I going to have to go walk all the way to the post office just to buy one stamp? And if I'm going to go all that way, I may as well go to the bank because I need to get some cash out, but it kind of looks like it might rain. So let me just check in the weather app. Okay, so it's not going to rain, but it will rain in 20 minutes, but it takes me 10 minutes to walk to the shops and I don't have a car. And so by the time I finish, I get out, it'll be pouring with rain. I haven't even had a shower, no breakfast or coffee, and now I have to walk home in the rain. So it's too hard. So I'll just stay here and looking at my phone for another 10 minutes. This is how my mind works some days. Last week I heard this really great tip, and it was to just plan for the next 5 minutes. What do I need to do right now? I want to make breakfast. Okay, I'm going to do that. After that, what are you going to do for the next 5 minutes? I'm going to put the washing on. Okay, I'll go and do that. And so on. So it really helps to stop that chatter and the overwhelming thoughts that I have, or to stop planning everything for the whole day. Just do the next 5 minutes. I'm grateful that I have some wonderfully supportive friends and family who have really stepped up when I needed it and let me hold on to my independence at the same time. I've been able to live independently for the last year or so, which has been really important to me. And it's only now that I've decided that it's time for a bit more help. So soon I'll be moving across two states to a city that I don't know very well to live with my mum and dad. At 36, I moved out of home when I finished school, and that was half my life ago. So only time will tell how this arrangement is going to go, but we will see. I know it's going to help us all be in the same place and give my family some peace of mind that I can rest when I need to be and that I'll be safe. Apart from the whole cancer diagnosis thing, it's been an amazing time here at Peter Mac. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that I'm nervous to leave. The care that I receive from my medical team and extended services is a really holistic and supportive, it's really holistic and supportive, and they really do focus on the needs of the patient. If you're a patient here at Peter Mac, I'd really strongly encourage you to seek whatever support you need, even outside of your medical team. There are so many resources available to you here. If you haven't already, just head down to level 1. The Wellbeing Centre is an amazing place. You can just sit down and have a cup of tea. They've also got all these other services or activities and things that you can do any day of the week. I recently found out that I had another melanoma recurrence. This sneaky thing had worked its way around all my medical medication. But I knew it was a possibility, so I wasn't completely surprised. I texted one of my friends just to let her know. Cancer came back in my boob, and she replied, well, that's shit. I know there's this place where you can hurl axes at targets. If you really want to let off some steam, just let me know when we're going. So as you can tell, I've got some very, very supportive friends who are always happy to kick a decent amount of sarcasm in cancer's direction to make me laugh. I can't emphasise it enough to have people around you to help you out, make you laugh, give you hugs and bake you cookies and take your mind off it. Now I just want to make a special mention of a fellow Stage 4 person who's a big part of the MPA online support group. I'm going to say his name wrong. Ron Neuenhaus. Ron was due to speak tonight instead of me, but he hasn't been well, so he decided it'd be best if somebody else could. Big deep breath.
That's what midwives do.
Yeah.
Big deep breath.
Ron is a really big advocate for melanoma education, and he's a constant source of support in the online group, and he tirelessly continues to fundraise for various events, such as the Unite to Fight here at Peter Mac, which is next month, and in Jay's Melanoma March, which is earlier this year. I want to wish him all the best, and if you're a part of the online support group, no doubt you'll know him, and you can do so as well. I'd like to end this with an asterisk for all the early stage and newly diagnosed patients and carers. I don't wish to scare you, and sorry if it's too late, but this story is only my own, and you'll all have different paths to walk. I can now, from my experience, tell you that sometimes there is little value in constantly comparing your diagnosis, side effects, and doctor's advice and various situations to everyone else. Sometimes it can help you to stop the worrying, but if it becomes something that you're always focusing on, try to let it go. Comparison breeds fear, and fear is the thief of joy, and we all need to keep some joy in our lives. So, thank you.
Well, that was pretty powerful. Got a few cheers myself there.